Hey guys, what's up? So, got a saddle review, kind of a first look, I guess, more than a review. And I'm just going to say that this is a random purchase. I was on Amazon the other day looking for something, and I just was kind of randomly checking out saddles, and this thing popped up for $20. Okay, now if you're looking at this, it looks like a pretty typical Specialized power knockoff. But there's some strange things about this. It is made of carbon. Okay, it's got carbon rails, and it's got, oh, hello there, kitty. Biddy wants to be in the video. It's got carbon rails, and it's got a carbon shell. And I don't think it's just fake, like, look-alike carbon. I think it's real carbon, because this thing feels like nothing. Like, I believe it was 150 grams, so that's really, really light for a saddle. It is padded. I would say it has a pretty normal amount of padding for a racing bike saddle, you know, these type of saddles. I've never rode the very popular Specialized power saddles, and there's different versions of them. I've never rode one. I don't know if it's similar. It's very short, like they are. And it came in two widths. It came in 140 and 150, and I got the 150. I would have got a 160 if they had it. It's probably about 180 long. I didn't measure it. I did measure the width, and it is exactly 150 millimeters. Pretty good looking cutout. So checking out the bottom here, the bottom is, you know, fairly well constructed. I mean, this is glued on pretty good and cut pretty good. The rails feel kind of flexible, but I mean, I don't know. I've never really had a carbon rail saddle before. I can't imagine that these rails would really like hold up. Like, the saddle is so light, it just doesn't even feel like it would work. I am, as you are aware, not a light person. This is definitely not the saddle that I should be running. But yeah, profile-wise, I don't think the Specialized, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think the Specialized power saddles are designed this kicked back. I think they're pretty flat across the top, whereas the Roman, which is a saddle that I like and I use a lot, does have the kickback back here, so it's not perfectly flat. Now, from my understanding, a couple of the articles I've read says that if a saddle has a lot of kickback, you know, rise near the tail, that's good for people who aren't quite so flexible, and helps them in lower positions. So anyway, I imagine this saddle would be an absolutely horrible thing to buy, but at $20, I was like, well, it's worth it just to make a video about it and try it. If I was a very lightweight person and I wanted a saddle that I wasn't necessarily going to ride all the time, but maybe just for like events that had a lot of climbing, hill climbs or something, you know, it might be a really good choice for that. So we're going to put it on a bike, and I'm going to give it a test, and we'll see if A, it holds up to me riding it for a while, and B, if I can actually set on this thing and pedal. So let's do that. Okay. So, first impressions aren't actually that bad. It's solid. It's not creaking. I don't feel any flex at all, like if I start bouncing up and down. The padding, it feels hard, but not like any harder than any other saddle designed like this. I mean, the padding feels good. This is a oval rail saddle. It's not really compatible with the seat post, so you would need a seat post that has the style that, I mean, there's probably, I don't know much about, I've never had an oval seat post, rail seat post before, but typically if a seat post kind of grabs it from the sides like this one does, it may not actually work very well. So I probably won't leave this on this bike. I think it would be a bad idea, because it doesn't really look like it fits the seat posts. Something like a Thompson design, a 2-bolt design where it's kind of sandwiched between a top and bottom plate, would probably work fine for these ovals. You probably know more about that than me. I gotta say, I'm actually, just first impressions, really surprised. I was expecting it to feel super, you know, like saggy in the middle. It's so crazy light. I didn't believe it could really like stay together at this weight. We'll spend some time on it and see how it feels. Okay guys, I'm 45 minutes in and I've been doing basically zone 1, just easy spinning, tons of weight on the saddle, standing up and spinning like every 10 minutes or something, but basically just warm-up pace. And that's generally on a trainer especially, that lets me know pretty quick whether I'm gonna like a saddle or not. And I gotta say, this thing feels pretty good, like really good. It's very hard, and you know, at the end of, you know, as I started getting closer to like 35-40 minutes, I could tell it was getting hard, but at the same time it's also so firm and supportive that, you know, it didn't feel bad necessarily. I would say this saddle would be incredibly comfortable for if you're out riding in a very like aero position, you know, and you're not just setting up like on a trainer like I am. But if I can handle this saddle setting up on a trainer, I think it's going to be a really good saddle. Now, as far as the wear and tear and the durability of this thing, I have no idea. I mean, I can't imagine this $20 saddle is going to last all that long. It seems like it's so firm, but also it probably can't flex too much and it's eventually going to break. We'll find out. But I'm going to take this off this bike because this saddle is way too... I don't want to risk messing up the rails now on this wrong seat post for it. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off and put it up and try it out on the road at some point in the future. But yeah, so the Joxviz or something, who knows? The name on the saddle is completely meaningless. I mean, whoever ordered these or whatever, they're, you know, it doesn't, it's a knockoff version of something. I don't know what saddle it's a knockoff version of, but they did a really good job as far as design goes, in my opinion. So like $20 on Amazon, I might buy another one just in case, because that's, you know, this saddle, a carbon rail saddle, 150 gram carbon rail saddle. And I'm not ordering it from AliExpress, so, you know, you get it in it arrived on a Sunday. You know, if I ordered something like this from, like, AliExpress, I'd get it in 2 months or whatever, if I got it at all. So, pretty impressed. I gotta admit, whatever the saddle is, I like it. See ya.